The fuck? Anime has a huge problem with 1,000-year-old babies or children posing as adults. But before I get into the very dark and creepy side of anime, I want to show you a couple examples of when characters don't exactly look their age, but it's done well. Let me give you an example. First, I'll start off with Jewelry Bonnie from One Piece. Now, Jewelry Bonnie, although she doesn't look like it, she's 12 years old. And you might be looking at these clips and thinking, 12? Like, she looks like a grown woman. Yes, but in One Piece, she'd eaten the age fruit, which allowed her to have abilities that can let her manipulate her age and manipulate the age of others around her, which includes humans and objects alike. So her back into her normal age. So when she had that touching moment with her father, Kuma, she turned back into a child and she was able to let out her real emotions. I feel like this is important because us as the viewers, we need to be able to see her at her normal age, otherwise it just becomes a little bit creepy. The only part of her character which I am not so fond of is the fact that whenever she is on screen, they like to exaggerate her womanly features, which is a bit strange considering she's actually 12. You know what I mean? I know she's posing as an adult, but she's 12. We don't need to see all those things there. She's 12. You know what I mean? Yeah, that for me is a little bit not too fond of that. But her as a character and the reason why she turns that age and whatnot, fine with it. I think it's done pretty well. That's okay. Another example for me, and probably the best example I've got right now, Biscuit from Hunter x Hunter. Now, Biscuit, she's a Nen user. She's a transmuter as far as I'm concerned. And she had trained very hard all her life to the point where her natural form, she's actually very buff. But because she's very powerful, she's able to change her form into a young, she looks like a young girl, as you can see on screen when I'm showing the images. She looks like a young girl, but she does that because she doesn't like her form as a buff, big woman. And also because she finds it hard to restrain herself when she turns big, often killing her opponents. But when she's small, she has a bit less power, so she doesn't kill off her opponents. Also, it gives her the edge because opponents look at her as a little girl and they don't think she's powerful. So she gets the one up on them in that aspect. That's another example of when a character does not look their age, but it's done well. It's done well. I don't think there's any problem with that. And in Greed Island, she pretty much stole the show. She was probably the best character in Greed Island. So it can be done. It can be done well. Now, now let's discuss the dark side of this trope. The awful side of this trope. And most of it for me comes through Seven Deadly Sins. I'm sorry. I'm kind of happy that it fell off because there's a couple things that was going on in that show which I couldn't quite overlook. Let me start with the obvious one. Ban and Elaine. Where do I even start? Elaine is a 1,000-year-old girl. She's 1,000 years old because she's a fairy, so she's lived for thousands of years, but she has the appearance of a girl because she didn't age or something like that. Either way, this is a child. Like, she looks like a child. Let's be so honest. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck, as you Americans like to say. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a stack. That's a child on the screen. That's a child. But they market it, no, not even market, but they say that she's 1,000 years old, so it's okay for her to have a relationship with a guy who clearly looks like a grown man. I'm not falling for that, you know. No amount of propaganda, no amount of explaining is gonna make me feel okay with seeing these two individuals on screen kissing. I like, when I see them together, I cringe, and other people, they look at them together and think it's cute. I don't think it's cute at all. I think it's pervy. I think it's disgusting. I don't think it's nice at all. I've got videos of them doing things together, and honestly, I don't even want to really show it. It's explicit to me, but for others, it's like, yeah, it's cute. No, man, that is a child and that is a grown man. These two should not be together. I don't care if she's 1,000 years old in the books or in the manga. You have drawn a child. You understand? You have drawn a child and you have drawn her to be together with an adult. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not having that. I don't like that. And that is where I draw the line. But it doesn't stop there. Obviously, that's the woman version. And when a man is doing it to a woman, it's a little bit predatory. You get me? But there's the opposite as well in the same show, King. Look at these videos that I'm showing you. And I want you to guess how old he is if you don't already know. You're probably looking at him thinking, what, 10? 11? Nah, he's the older brother of the last girl I was showing you. He's like 300 years older than her. He's over 1,300 years old. But that's a kid that they've drawn. But they paired him together with this giant girl who, granted, she looks young as well, but she looks fairly older than him. Like, when you look at these videos, don't you think she looks maybe late teens? She could be early 20s maybe. Either way, she looks far older than him. But they're together. You know what I mean? And I just find that a bit, it's off for me, you know. It's off. Granted, King does take on an older form, like when he gets older, and he looks a little bit older. But at the time of their meeting, King looks like a little boy, and Diane looks like a woman almost. You know what I mean? It's just a bit, it's a bit off-putting. And I really did enjoy Seven Deadly Sins when I was watching it, but as soon as the animation started to fall off and whatever, then I stopped watching it. But looking back, I don't mind it falling off, man. It's a bit creepy. It's a bit creepy, and I'm gonna stand on that hill. No one can tell me that, oh, she's 1,000 years old, so it's okay. No, I don't care. They drew a child. If she's 1,000 years old, draw her as a 25-year-old or something. If you're gonna make her have relationships with men anyway. Or King. If he's 1,300 years old and you want him to have a relationship with an older girl, draw him as someone who looks a bit older, because now it's on screen and it just looks off. It don't look right. There's no way that it looks right. At the end of the day, it looks like a young person kissing an older person, and don't look right at all. Don't look good. There's also another scene which out of context it looks really bad, when Meliodas is holding Elizabeth in his arms and she is literally a baby. You can't even say child. She's just born. She's a baby. He's holding her around. Her brother comes and tries to, are you all right, little man? Do you need any help? He smacks his hand away and says, yo, get away from my woman. Get away from my woman. This is my woman. Obviously, without context, looks awful. But even with context, it's not the greatest. She's a baby. You know what I mean? She is a baby at that point in time. It's weird. It's weird. Even if that woman was your woman in your past life, she's a child now. Oh, she's just born now. You know what I mean? It's weird. No, not for me. I don't like that. I don't like that. And no amount of propaganda. I know I keep saying that, but you can't convince me that whatever was going on in there, I should just name this the 7 Deadly Sins review, like how weird it is. I should just say that. This anime trope where children look like adults, or where adults actually look like little kids, I don't like it. I think it needs to stop. There's one more I can talk about before I wrap this up. Jobless reincarnation. So like a 40-year-old man is reincarnated into a little kid, a little boy, and he's growing up and he starts learning magic and stuff. But there's times where he's literally a kid, yeah, but in his brain he's an old man. So it's basically the same problem that I'm going through in the other ones. In his brain he's a grown man, but he's a kid in this life, and he's perving on little girls. Like, he's looking at the little girls in a strange way, like he wants to do something with them. I was watching that show and I was enjoying it, but as soon as I started seeing those things, I was a bit like, that's a bit weird. Like, it's one thing for him to be perving on his mom in that world, like, it's different. He's an older man, he's looking at a woman who's probably around his actual age. Cool, all right, I get it. But when you start doing it to the little girls around the area now, it's a bit like, I know you're a kid in this life, but you still have your brain intact. You know exactly what's going on, and you have 40 years of experience. What you're doing here is a bit weird. This is just an anime problem, something that's been going on forever, and I don't like it at all. A lot of people celebrate it. I'm not one of those people, and I don't like it, so I just wanted to come on here today to say that I don't like it and it needs to stop. That's it. I'm gonna wrap up the video there. Thank you very much for watching all the way. If you would like to like the video, please do so. It helps me out so much. Comment down any other moments in any other animes where you've seen this similar type of thing done, and let me know if it was done right or if it was also a little bit creepy. Let me know. I'd like to know, just so I can avoid those animes altogether, to be honest. All my socials are linked down below. Check me out on other social media platforms. I'm cool on there too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this video. Show someone. You get me? Subscribe, claim your here before he was famous ticket. This account is going to the moon, I'm telling you. You might as well get on the train early. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I hope you have a blessed week, evening, day. Take care. Peace. Laurie.